Welcome back to the Plant Power Dad Hour. I am plant-based Gabriel, and to my left, actually to my right, or to your left, is the Lean Green Dad, Corey Warren. Corey, welcome back to the Plant Power Dad Hour. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I had some good food today.
Hey, we've
Good
got the
food.
holidays coming up. Anything kind of holiday themed, or are you just kind of going with your avocado toast?
I eat a pumpkin pie slice every single day.
with with maple syrup and some crushed candy canes, and I
No,
understand.
no, no, no. No, it's really good. I'm really proud. I'm going to be revealing in this episode my pumpkin pie in a blender recipe. It is so much fun to make. My kids love it. All you got to do is throw a bunch of things in a blender, bake it, put it in the fridge, cool off, whatever, and you're good to go. But no, for me, I'm doing pretty good right now. Lost a family member a couple weeks ago. My grandma, is near and dear to my heart. So that was a little rough time there, but back better than ever. And been working out, been sleeping well, been eating right. So as we get into the holidays, not a lot really changes. I'm kind of boring with that because I mean, having oatmeal for breakfast is loading it up with, some dates and some bananas and maybe a little almond milk, a little dash of cinnamon. Like, these things are exciting for me, but it might not be as exciting as other people's holidays. For instance, Gabriel, I have someone very close to me. I'm not gonna say any names or
Uh-huh.
their relation, okay? But I had someone very close to me that struggling with a major heart issue. Okay, it's heart disease, right?
Hmm.
And my people that are close to those people and close to me are all just like, oh, geez, it's inevitable, it's unbelievable. Like this runs in our
It's
in our
genetic.
family. It runs in our family, and just so tough, right? And I'm trying so hard not to go Dr. Esselstyn on them. But we're talking, I think three three valve replacements. One was like 90% blocked.
Uh-huh.
And that's not as I guess it's more exciting to have that than it is to eat some oatmeal. Look, man, that's super judgmental and rude of me. I'm not trying to like say like if this person had just eaten oatmeal, like they would cure everything. But the truth is like I'm not sure how much they were paying attention, right, to what was going on. And I have been this kind of like vegan person that they've
Uh-huh.
known, just makes me almost really just kind of sad that I couldn't help more. But you can't force someone to do something. You can't. You have to take that initiative, and that's
Well,
why you listening to the show. We love it.
that's right. That's why we have so many that listen in and tune in and watch. And you've kind of transitioned us here. I'm not going to tell you what I've been what I've eaten today because it kind of goes towards what we've had today. It's not like I've been eating, naughty. It's just
Is it just boring or what?
no, it just works into our today's episode.
Right.
So,
I love
and
it.
also your discussion and kind of talking about that family member, that loved one who is eating themselves into a grave. And I understand that that's not a nice thing to say, but I've seen my family members eat themselves into the grave. And it's not something that anyone wants to see or be a part of, or everyone wants to help. But how do you help? How do you become, not be a part of the problem, but be the
Yeah.
solution there? And so that's kind of a part of today's episode. Today, we're going to talk about, and Corey's going to touch on a little different aspect of it, but I'm going to talk about how to keep it whole food, plant-based, 100% healthy, vegan, no oil, whole food, plant-based through the holidays. Now, and Corey's going to touch on for maybe someone who doesn't have that health impetus, or someone who you may just have decided to start eating plant-based or vegan 3 or 4 months ago.
Sure.
And you're just wondering, how in the world am I going to get through the holidays and keep it vegan through the holidays? And so Corey is an expert on that. I have spent a lot of my time focused on keeping it whole food, plant-based through those through the holidays and through these times. And so why it's so important to me, I'll just kick us off here, Corey. Why it's so important to me is because when I first went vegan, and you can touch on this, but when I first went vegan, plant-based, it was because I had a serious injury, right? I'd just come out of a 6.5-hour back surgery. I was 100 pounds overweight. I wasn't sure if I would ever be able to be physically active again, if I would ever be able to walk normal again, if I would ever be able to play with my future children like I get to now with baby Brit. There was a lot of question marks there, and there was a lot of worry. And so when I did go plant-based after trying everything else, and those who know the story know it, but when I first did, it was like, okay, I'm going to cut out the meat, but I'm going to go for the fake meat, and I'm going to cut out the cheese, and I'm going to go for the vegan cheese, and I'm going to cut out the lard, and I'm going to go for the oil, this and that.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me, that was only a couple of months, because I realized, hey, I'm just as fat, sick, and unhealthy as I was when I was eating the animal-based side of things, or I'm just, instead of eating animal-based processed junk, I'm eating plant-based processed junk. So,
right.
So for me, it was a quick transition there. It was a realization that, wow, I mean, as amazing as it is, you could save animals and do this for the planet and this or that. But if you are eating yourself into a grave, you're not helping anyone else. You're not really helping yourself. And I know that can be touchy for some people. But guess what? If you want to make a big difference in the planet, just thinking of yourself ain't going to do it long term. And so for me, it was like, okay, I got to go whole food plant-based. And then going good, losing weight, going good, losing weight, feeling better, regaining my health. Maybe you're someone who doesn't even have the weight to lose. But then we get towards the holidays, and it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'm going to stay vegan, right? It was like, I'm going to stay vegan. And so kind of the first holiday time is like, I'm going to stay vegan. But, there's oil in this, and there's, vegan junk in that, and oil in this, and vegan junk in that. And then, you look back, you're like, oh, wow, like, my face is bloated up.
Really,
like,
yeah.
I feel horrible, and I've only been eating holiday-like for the past 2 weeks, and we're just past Christmas. We just passed Thanksgiving. I still have Christmas and New Year's, and so that was kind of the first like, oh wow, okay. And then as we've gone through the holidays, right, and a lot of it has to do with those who are around you, kind of also providing options that are better, or you providing them for yourself and those that you're surrounded with. But I have gotten better to the point where now it's a conscious decision, but you're able to continue to eat whole food plant-based through the holidays. And so now, this last holiday and the one before were really ones where I really got good at it and stuck with it, to where after the holidays, I felt just as good as I did before. I didn't miss out on any of the family time, any of the fellowship with friends and family. I didn't miss out on any of the good food, because if I wanted to eat something, I knew it wasn't going to be provided to me in a healthy, whole food, plant-based manner. I brought it myself. I provided it myself. And when we got to January 5th, instead of being 15 pounds heavier and my face bloated and feeling like I'm carrying around an extra 10, 15 pounds, around the belt, I felt just as good as I did September 10th, or the middle of the year. And so that's my goal, and I know that's coming from more of a health standpoint. But for those of you who are listening, who are watching, who are plant-powered parents, if you have dealt with those health problems, if you have loved ones who have dealt with those health problems, I urge you to be the example. I urge you to set the table full of those options that are going to contribute to your loved one's health and longevity, instead of contributing to their lack thereof of health, lack thereof of longevity. But and that's a tough thing to do, but that's something that you certainly can do. You can at least provide those options. Is a big thing there, Corey. I don't know if you have anything to add there.
Yeah, I fully agree. I love what you said about the face thing, because like sometimes I'll have like one alcoholic beverage. Okay. Like I'll have one alcoholic beverage. And because I don't drink that often, the next morning I will feel it. And I wake up on 1.5 hour, sleep cycles, like I'll sleep like 6 hours, 7.5 hours, 9 hours, never 9 really, honestly. But 7.5 is like a great night. 6 hours, like, okay, I'll do that 3 nights in a row, whatever. We talked about this before, I think. But the truth is, when I wake up, like
Corey, it sounds like you're a robot. I don't know if we've talked about this before, but keep going.
Oh no, wait, you mean my connection's bad, or I sound like a
No, the fact that you sleep you sleep on 1.5 hour segments.
I sleep every 1.5 hours. No, it's like up, down, up, down. That's the
I feel you.
All right, but no, as far as 7.5, that's my goal time. But when I wake up, the whole point is I'm saying I could see in my face, a little more inflammation, right? And that's like one shot of whiskey, which is my drink, totally my drink, right? But it's a little fun thing I do every now and then to have a little drink, and then no harm in that,
But
right?
you can certainly see it. You know, you can certainly see that. You know, you just, if I look back at pictures, it's amazing to say, yeah, I can look back at a date I posted. And that's one thing about being in the public view or whatever. It's to say, all right, I got to keep. I don't have to, but I choose to keep posting things. And it's like, well, I can see something that I did there, and then literally a week or two later, a month later, it's like, whoo. Someone jumped off the whole food plant-based bandwagon a little bit too much, but yeah, it's we do have those kind of markers that we all can see. The unfortunate thing is when you get into it, and previously before adopting this way of eating and before really taking control of my health, you were oblivious to it. It's like, the fat, sick, bloated, and overweight is just the normal, and so you don't notice that. But when you do thin down, you do kind of reach that optimal body weight. You notice it's like, oh wow, something's going wrong, or this or that. So but that's certainly on the vein of whole food plant-based, Corey. So what's the word on those who they made the decision to save the planet, to save the animals, to save the future, but they don't know how in the world they're going to make it through December 25th and January 1st and November 20 something.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I mean, look, we have vegan Friendsgiving, and that's really great. There's some vegan stuff there. I don't have anybody in my life that's like really as whole food plant-based as me. Just my boy, Adam Sudd. I mean, Adam, but Adam's up in Austin. Like I don't have anybody in my circle that I hang out with that is 100% whole food plant-based. Right. So I'm kind of out alone by myself on that. But I will tell you that I have this little post that I put together a while ago, years ago, but it's still very valid today. So if you're having vegan people over for your Thanksgiving, and maybe you have a friend that's not vegan, okay, and they want to have you over, you might want to just share a couple of these tips with them, or just keep this in your mind because there's some things you can do too, right? So tip number one is like serve a salad. If you're a host, like just have a salad available, okay? And not with dressing on it. Like let me put the dressing on myself, or not use dressing, or maybe use an avocado and like mix it up or something like that, right? So that's something to think about. Number two, if you are hosting a party, I'm not trying to sound like a jerk here, but could you take a second and just read the label for me? Just read the label. If the product has eggs in it, or the product has dairy in it, it is not vegan. All right. Like I can't tell you how many times. That's it, y'all. You don't have to have butter.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's vegan, Corey. You go ahead and try some.
Well, there's no meat in this butter, so it must be vegan. I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, so like the truth is like butter tastes like butter, whether it's vegan or it's not vegan. Now, it's not the same for cheese. I'm not trying to tell you that vegan cheese tastes like normal cheese. It doesn't. All right, but butter, come on, it's just butter. Like it's oil. So like, look, the bottom line is like just read the label, okay, if you could. I think it even says like, I can't believe it's not butter vegan, right? Like, I mean, it's like it got vegan on the label, okay? And then here's the other thing that I love. This keep things on the side. Don't combine things. Keep the corn separate from the cream. Don't make a cream of corn and poison my corn. Just leave it as corn, right? You don't need to add marshmallows to sweet potatoes. Yeah, you don't need to do that. If you want me to
drizzle some butter over top, and
why are you pouring poison all over my food, right? So like those are just a couple things for me. These are very simple vegan things, but I'm gonna throw it to you. We're gonna talk a little more whole food plant-based, and then I'm telling you, people, I got vegan pumpkin pie in a blender, and I don't know if it's whole food plant-based. Hold on.
But you could probably give us a whole food plant-based option, I'm sure, Corey. You're a recipe wizard.
The only thing I don't have is how to make the pie crust, but I'll bet you could tell me how to make. I just buy store-bought, like a graham cracker vegan crust. Like I don't really look too much, as long as there's no dairy.
I don't know if you saw my comment on that video, Corey, when you posted it.
No, I didn't. What did you say?
So Corey's going to share with us a blended pumpkin pie, blended pumpkin pie. And I commented on there. I said, it looks and sounds great, but I must have missed the part where you add the crust to the blender.
No.
I thought it was funny. But
yes.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do when we're talking about keeping a whole food plant-based through the holidays. Number one, you got to have a plan, and that plan starts with you. Number one, you got to make a decision. Number two, you got to have a plan. All right, in that order. You got to make the decision to say, you know what, whether I offend someone, whether I make Aunt Buck or Uncle Becky or whatever, upset them this holidays, I'm not going to, I'm just not going to put my health in jeopardy because of a family tradition of gluttony. All right, that's what it is. I am here to be with you, loved ones. I'm here to fellowship with you. I'm here to spend time with you. I'm here to catch up. I'm here to hug you. I'm here to just be with you. Because I don't eat, right? Your chicken chalupa or whatever, it does not mean I don't love you. And if you take it that way, then you're taking it that way, and that's it. So number one, you're making the decision that no matter what, whatever's going to happen, I'm keeping it whole food plant-based. That could be because your doctor says, I'm going to put you on, 20 different pills, potions, and prescriptions next month if you don't, shape up and ship up. And so there's that. Could be because, you know what, I've really done great this year. I've lost 15, 20 pounds in the past 8 months. And I don't want to gain 10 of them back in 2 weeks or gain 20 of them back in the next month and a half. Right. Which can ladies and gentlemen, between the third week of November and the first week of January, people gain 25 pounds.
Oh yeah, easy.
Quite easily. Whether you're eating vegan or not. And so that's a conscious decision to say, you know what, I'm either going to find myself a step forward than I was the second week of November on January 10th, or I'm going to find myself 5 steps back. So you make the decision. There it is. With making that decision, number 2 is you got to have a plan. You got to make a plan. And that plan is going to start with this. It's to say, if I find myself at a get-together, I either need to be prepared not to eat, not optimal. So I'm not saying that that's the perfect solution, but I'm either going to be prepared not to eat, which means I'm going to show up full. All right. 2, I'm prepared to bring something for myself to eat. Now that could be something that you just tuck away in the fridge. And, if you're really nervous because, you're going to go to a family, a bunch of carnivores who are all 300 pounds and, on every pill, potion, and prescription ever written under the sun. And, they're all, moaning about what, all the aches and ailments and what the doctor's got them on this year. And you don't want to ruffle any feathers. You can tuck that little meal back in the fridge. And, when it's mealtime, you go back there and just eat it up real quick and you're good. You're good to go. So there's an option. You bring something with you, but the best option, because these are your loved ones. These are the people that you want to be around for a long time. These are the people that you want to introduce to a whole food plant-based diet. These are the people that you want to reverse their chronic conditions that are caused by the standard American diet, the way that they're eating, the buffet that they're providing at the family potluck, right? So how do you help in that manner? What's the simplest, easiest thing to do? Bring a dish or 2, not just a little plate that you're going to tuck away in the fridge. That's you. That's fine. That's so much better than the alternative, right? But the best thing you can do, 9x14 glass container, stainless steel. I don't care what it's in, right? It doesn't matter. But a sheet tray or a tray of something that could be easy mac and peas. It could be a whole food plant-based macaroni and cheese, a macaroni and peas. It could be a whole food plant-based potato bake, cheesy potato bake, hash brown potato bake. It could be
mashed potatoes.
It could be mashed potatoes. It could be sweet potatoes.
Pot. Bring them. Yeah.
It could be rice and beans. It could be whole food plant-based fajita. It could be anything. The point is you're bringing something so that that there's something that you can eat.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, number one, I'm not going to be a burden on the other people there who are, well, you got to bring something whole food plant-based, because then, and maybe maybe they get to the point where they want to provide that.
Right.
But normally the best way is not to kind of nag them to say nothing oil, nothing that, maybe you introduce it first of all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably the best way. But lead by example. But so that you're going to have something there. That's huge, 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 huge to know that you have something you can eat there. But the most important thing is, because guess what? I've been to those get-togethers and I haven't been able to bring something and I haven't eaten and I've just enjoyed the people there and it's been fine. So you're not really gaining that much by having something to eat there. But what you are gaining is the ability to share your healthy, whole food, plant-based food with your loved ones. Bring enough so that everyone can give it a try. You don't need to set, you don't need to write a big V on it, because they don't care. It's going to actually exclude them if you make that point of it. But bring something that looks good, that tastes good, that's healthy, whole food, plant-based, that's going to introduce them to this way of eating. And so this is the key. And this is why I really like it, Corey. So when you're sitting back there, everyone's kind of just munching away, and then Aunt Bucky starts moaning about how, wow, she's 315 pounds and she's going in for her 8th back surgery and her left knee's out and her right knee needs replaced. And it's all genetic. And there's no, as she's, just, throwing down 2,500 calories of standard American junk, you can say, you know what, Aunt Bucky, I just would love for you to go try my hash brown potato bake. And let me tell you this, why? Because if you eat something like that for the next year, you might be able to get off your medication. You might not have to go in for a life-threatening back surgery. Yeah. You might not have to go in for that next quadruple bypass.
That's when everybody looks at you though, Gabe.
That's when everyone looks at you. And guess what? And guess what you do? You stand up and you say, you know what? I used to be out here, Uncle Bucky. Yeah. Right. And you say, you knew me back then.
Yeah.
You know how healthy I am now. And you know how much I enjoy food. You know how much I love life. And that's your opportunity. If that's not you, bring something to eat. And guess what? If nobody else wants to try it, then you have meal for the next couple of days. But that's not going to happen. People are going to try it and it's there. So that is my, that's my big take there. You've got to make the decision that you're going to keep it whole food, plant-based through the holidays. And second of all, you got to decide how you're going to do it. You can do it secretively, which is fine if you're just kind of getting started and you want to, don't want to, or you don't have the ability. But hey, the best option, bring something to share, no doubt.
All right, you ready for this? You ready for the pumpkin pie?
I'm ready.
All right, so pumpkin pie in a blender. You ready? All right, here we go, guys. I'll tell you what. Should I share? I don't need to share my screen. I'll just give you the recipe. Okay. Listen, pie crust. Gabriel's going to talk about how to make a whole food plant-based pie crust, probably out of dates in just a second. Okay. But you need a pie crust. I buy a store-bought pie crust that happens to be vegan, mistakenly vegan, right? Okay. Graham cracker crust. You got flax seeds are going to be my binding agent. Okay. You could use egg replacer if you want, but I prefer flax seeds. As a motorcycle blows by my house. Pumpkin pie spice, always a must. If you don't have it, you got to have it in the pantry. Okay. Baking powder, pure pumpkin puree. All right. Now I get mine out of a can. And so you don't have to, but I get mine out of a can. And it is just the pumpkin puree. Nothing else in it. Nothing else. You don't need anything else. Okay. Coconut milk. Now you can use almond milk, unsweetened almond milk if you want, or you can use the full fat, unsweetened, canned coconut milk.
Which will no doubt produce a more rich traditional style of pumpkin pie.
I've used both. Honestly, I've used both. It's whatever I have in the pantry. Okay. Maple syrup. And then I used a gluten-free flour. I'm trying out gluten-free for my little boy. So I did tapioca flour, which is pretty good. And that's it.
In lieu of what? I mean, this is your thickening agent?
No, you just it's just like a half a cup of flour. You can put any flour in. You can put whole wheat flour if you want.
But that's like a thickening agent for it.
Yeah. Okay. The
combination. Someone could also use something like cornstarch or another traditional thickening agent.
Oh yeah. Cornstarch is great.
You got a motorcycle gang outside in front of the house, Corey?
You know what, man? Actually, I have something. You're not gonna believe this. I have to stop. I have to leave, Gabe. I have My water heater broke in my house, and this guy showed up an entire 24 hours early.
Hey, well,
So I'm
you
gonna go out to talk to him.
you
He's
can
ringing the
you
doorbell right now.
all right. Well, you get it all fixed. Um,
Dude,
well, hey, let me finish this up here, and then
finish it up. I'll be right
you
back.
come back in, and we'll. All right, everyone. Corey's got to go. Go do his dad duties. This is the Plant Power Dad Hour. But here is something I'm going to share with everyone, because this was, we normally do show and tell, and this also gets into the vein of holidays and sharing the holidays with loved ones. Is these are canned sweet potatoes that I did. Now, these are done using a pressure canner, so this isn't something. This is certainly something that you could figure out how to do very easily, and I'll share some steps with you. But beginners normally start with water bath canning. I actually got a good start with pressure canning because I see it. It is a bit more foolproof. Like if you get pressure canning down, stuff's going to be good. And so, but these are sweet potatoes that I grew here on the farm. So pretty neat about that. And it just looks really nice. Like, this would make a wonderful gift. I don't know if any of these will make it home, but around the holidays. But you can do something like this and make and help share healthy whole food plant-based snacks. Very simple manner. If you have the kind of the know-how or the want to get around like a pressure canner or figure something out like that. So pressure canning, very simple. You need a pressure canner. But with these sweet potatoes, what I did was I parboiled them, which means I kind of partially boiled them in boiling water for around 10 minutes until the skins could kind of just slip off. So you kind of parboil them, kind of get them cooked. And then once they were done boiling, I tossed them in ice water, really cold water, and then just took the skins off. They kind of just slip off. You can use a spoon or something like that if you need to. But then I took those sweet potatoes and chopped them up into bits like this, tossed them into here, and then you go ahead and make your you can can them in just water if you prefer. You can can them in some people use like a cane sugar type syrup. You could use different things. Here are some healthy whole food plant-based options. You could use something like a date sugar to make your syrup. You could use date syrup. You can use maple syrup. And what you do is you boil that, and then you fill it to that line. And this one looks like there was a few air gaps and it dropped a little bit, but that's fine. If you're pressure canning, you'll note that as long as you didn't lose more than half of the liquid in your jar, you're fine. You're good to go, and keep that around. Now, if you lose, a fourth of the water in there, make sure you use that one quicker, just because your top can kind of darken a little bit. Here's how you get that syrup. If you want to follow that recipe, if you're going to do quart jars, this is a 7-quart recipe. We're going to go ahead and use 8 cups of water and 2 cups of maple syrup. And that will do 7 jars like this in a light syrup. Again, you could use water, but when you bring the water in there, it kind of pulls the flavor out of the sweet potatoes instead of kind of keeping it in. And so some sort of a light syrup is good. If you're using something like a date sugar, which is just dehydrated dates that have been ground up, you can go ahead and use 2 cups to every 10, or 2 cups for 5 cups of water. So be 4 cups of date sugar for 10 cups of water for that syrup. You could do less. You could do 2 to 10, but I used kind of that 4-cup ratio if you're using something like a date sugar. But that works out great. And then you get this beautiful color. You're going to pressure cook it at 10 psi, depending on your elevation. But I was at 10, where I needed to use 10 psi, and I pressure can this for 90 minutes. That's what you need to do for quart jars, but 90 minutes. And let me tell you, I did 14 jars, so 2 cannerfuls yesterday. I popped one of these open this morning, and it was amazing. And I can tell you what, we got family coming into town, or if we're traveling, this would be this is just, you talk about having a ready to go side dish. Pop this, drain them out, mash them up, put them in a nice little glass dish, put them under the oven to roast for a few minutes. Amazing, amazing. So, or as Lawrence Welk would say, wonderful, wonderful. So there is your whole food plant-based candied sweet potatoes. And as Corey was saying, as I would jump on with what Corey was saying, you could also use this to do candied, like a sweet potato pie as well. So that's the option with the candied sweet potatoes. Corey's going to jump in here. And you know what, Corey, it looks like you're still busy, but
Hey man, dude, I got so much love for you, man. Like this guy is just ready to take my water heater right now. So
Hey,
like,
that works. Hey, I was just sharing with everyone how I did my whole food plant-based candied sweet potatoes, or canned sweet potatoes. So these are really good. I might have to send you a jar or two down your way. I made 14 jars last night, and it was tough not to eat 3 or 4 of them this morning. I just did one. I just ate one of them, but they are
yeah,
pretty good.
you send
So
me a jar, I'll send you a mystery surprise back, okay?
all right. Well, hey, that sounds good, Corey. I kind of finished this up there. If you have anything else to add, you certainly can. But I just want to tell everyone that we love you. We're thinking about you. And we're excited for the holiday season coming up. We're going to keep it whole food plant based, keep it vegan. We're going to make sure that our health, we take a step forward and not 3 steps back is a goal. And with those tips, we hope that you have a wonderful holiday season as well. And we will be around, and we will be here in another episode of the Plant Power Dad Hour.
Yep.
And
I will have hot water.
Corey will have hot water.
I took a cold shower. Yo, I could take cold showers all day. It's all good, but not the kids. The kids
Not the
don't take showers.
kids.
So things are
Well,
getting a little
well, you say either I'm going to hose you off outside, or we take a cold shower. But I'm sure they'll enjoy the warm water a little better.
Hey, people, we love you. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Bye.